Hello, hello. We did it.
Welcome back.
We finished The Warrior, the second book in the Quest for Heroes duology, written
By
by
Stephen Aryan.
Stephen Aryan.
Initial thoughts of book one, I think we gave it an overall, was it a 7.5?
I
believe.
yeah, I think we averaged an 8 between the two of us.
Oh, we averaged an 8. Okay.
I gave it a 7.5.
So we averaged
you
an
gave
8
it
on book
8.5,
one.
but we gave it an 8.
Yep. And then this is a duology, so we're done with the series.
We did it. We read both books. And our listeners, our loyal fans, have recommended a couple more of his books to us.
Yeah, I like his writing style, so I think I would revisit again. We'll get into the series itself. Judging the book by this cover, I think it's great. It's another one of those that fits the series perfectly. It looks almost the exact same as the first one, slightly different up here. And I think we have Willow down here. That might be.
Is that who that is?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Very tall woman.
Maybe it's Sigrid.
I think it's a woman.
Maybe it's Yara.
I don't think so. I'm going Willow. What do you think?
I don't know. It looks very human. And weren't the whole time, weren't they like the
they
Alpha?
Look human, except like until you see like the face and stuff like that. And they're super tall. I don't know.
Okay. All right. But I like the cover too.
Yeah, cover's good. Cover gets an invisible point. And then into the nitty gritty.
Yeah, this book was off to a strong start. We'll see. We'll discuss that as we get to it. That's a little sneak peek. Yeah.
Sneak peek.
First category of well-developed characters.
I kind of struggle here on this one. I wanted to give it a full point because I felt like he wrote Sigrid really well. And I think some of the side characters that he did, Yara got some good screen time. Felt like Willow was kind of just there. Feel like we didn't get anything new at all from her. Kel, no new development. He was same as book one and didn't really grow at all. I know this book wasn't really about him, but it kind of was.
I mean, I would say he's still the main character.
The main character still.
There was no distinction that separated him as the main character, main focus of this book. So he was still the main character.
I guess so. And then some of the people that they introduced, like Ravi, and I wanted more from Odd. He got some development, but we don't know what his main problem was. Like he had some mental development, but whatever his actual issues were, he overcame, but we didn't know how he got them in the first place. So it was kind of like, congrats, I guess.
Yeah.
Must have been hard for you.
Yeah, my issues are... I agree with everything you said, and my issues with character development are pretty closely tied to the world building issues I had with this too. So, we'll come back to that, but we didn't get anything new from Kel. We didn't come to understand like all of the characters' goals and objectives and who they are, and I just felt like it was a cast that was likable that wasn't well-rounded.
Yeah, because I had really high hopes in the beginning. I was like, first 50% of this book, I'm like, we're doing cooking. Some things. We're cooking. We're feeling good. And then we just kind of tapered off.
Yeah.
And then we tapered off and then whack, done.
It was
book was over.
Yeah, it was really interesting. It's very, I don't know. I'll say more as we get to our categories. I have a lot to say, but I'm like, do I just say it all or do I save it? So
we'll get to the category that you've got beef with.
Yeah.
Originality and creativity.
It was he took his book. I don't know. He had some new ideas in this one, but it felt like the core of it, he took book one's goal, idea, formula, stamped it on book two, and then wrote like new ideas inside of that existing framework, but with less execution than the first one. It didn't feel that original or creative.
No, I think this was a carbon copy from book one. We got like the structure and everything was good, but it was exactly book one. So it was kind of like we're reading the same thing, except there's a couple of different characters and some different things happened, but the essential, like everything the characters went through was kind of the same. We did get some cool stuff with the time dilation. And I think that's why I kind of gave it the half a point, because we got that. Yeah. And then we got the essentially Game of Thrones, hold the wall.
Yeah.
Type thing. But we're going to this great mysterious land in the way north, just in a different spot. Like it just, which is strange because I feel like this is one of the first times we've ever not given a full point to originality and creativity.
Yeah, normally that's a really easy one for us. We're like, it was unique, full point. Here we go.
You want to know the only other time we didn't? And actually, you know what this book reminds me of? This is very reminiscent of For the Wolf
Dang.
because we have book one with a unique idea, and then you have book two. The same thing happens, except in a different, like,
Yeah.
reverse world.
We also didn't give originality and creativity to Arcanix, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that was that
We
one
give
as
that one
well.
a 0.
That
Yep.
one, yeah. But
What can you do?
what can you do? On to engaging storyline. This was one of the strong points of this book. I will couple this later on with pacing and say that I felt like the first one struggled to give me like a progression. As my complaints about the first one was that the storyline was too linear and that the situations were redundant. This one did feel engaging, the storyline, especially the new elements that were thrown in, the time dilation, that made the storyline engaging. Like, it definitely kept me interested in how this was going to end. The way that the journey launched right away, it was the
And it felt
storyline was
good the
interesting.
fact that it picked up where the other one left off. There wasn't like there was a little bit of a time skip. I think it was a year or two.
Yeah.
They filled in the information really well, and then they went on their quest sooner. And it felt like it flowed.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is working.
You know what we could have maybe seen, and speculation of what we could have seen is always weird because it's not our story, right? It's someone else's story. But I think if we had seen more of Kel like learning to become a king, that could have been the character development we needed from him.
It would have been nice, but it was also not the
Yeah,
story.
it wasn't the
Like
point.
if we would have gotten it when he got back,
Yeah,
and that
before
would
or
have
after
been.
is what I meant. Like before he
Oh, I thought you meant
leaves.
like right in the beginning. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, the storylines in the beginning with him and Sigrun was setting up really well to like develop both their characters and bring them back together at the end. And when it didn't, I was like,
It totally skipped over it.
what?
Ah, we'll okay. Let's just
We
skip
got to
right.
get
We both gave it a. Let's go to story end. They built it up just like you said to have them like rekindle the relationship and oh we'll figure out like how to run this place together. And at the end, um, Sigrid is part of a chote, like she's not doing that, but she's still like the ambassador to the king, and he's back. He's the endless king or whatever they call him. So they're both with their son. They could still be. We didn't get all of that build up they did, all the little kindling they set up to create this beautiful bonfire of a story. Snuffed out immediately. Just nobody. It's like he had a deadline and he had more he wanted to write, but he was too slow, so he just had to like push it out. I
Yeah,
was at 95%, and I'm like we're at like a
dude,
back
that
95%?
started to happen to me. Okay. A lot of the time this happens to me around like halfway through a book and I'm pleasantly surprised, right? Like I start to see the percentage that I am on Kindle and I'm like, how are we wrapping all this up in the next? And I started that at 50%. And I was like, okay, what are we going to see? 60%. Okay, what are we going to see? 80%. Okay, what are we going to see? 90, 95%. I was like, there's no way. It's going to have to just cut off abruptly. And
I try not
it
to look at the
didn't.
percent because I don't wanna, like, be looking at the percent while I'm going, like, "Alright, where's this going?" Like, "He needs to wrap this up," or some or, like, "He needs to slow this down."
Fair
But for
enough.
this one, I looked, I'm like, "I've been reading for a long time." And then I looked, it was, like, 95% and Sigrid was battling, like, "What? There's literally nothing that can be accomplished in this 5% in, like,
Yeah.
a timely manner. Like, nothing will be flushed out."
Yeah, I mean the it's really interesting because I wonder if if why this happened was the result of like an editor telling him he had a limited word count or like he had a deadline with the editor. After having talked to indie authors more, I feel like there's an element of that we like behind the curtain we might not always see. So like maybe they told him he needed to shave down on it. But what's weird is what wasn't like shaved. Like we could have seen like a big I think we could have accomplished everything we needed for Sigrun with a big interlude in like the middle of the book. Like we could have gotten some time dilation leading up to it, a big interlude, some time dilation after, and then like bring them back together. But we got a lot more of her point of view than I think there was time for in the book.
Wanted more of her
Me
point of
too.
view.
I enjoyed it. And it was the way that the story was going, it was really well done. It's just there wasn't enough room to do both. There wasn't enough and I mean the ending of the Alfar's world, that was like what was like the whole point of the journey? Meh, we don't know what happened.
And then
Anyways,
they're just like, "Hey, we cured it, but like no one will be cured. Sorry, you're gonna die. Good luck." And then we never visited the world again.
and it's like I don't need a happy ending. I like when there's not a happy ending, but I think you can better execute your like your bleak ending.
This book was, I think, 45 or so, maybe 40 pages less than book one. Like, take those pages and put them back. Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like we just got chopped.
45 more
It must
pages
have been an
and
editing
we could
thing.
have. It's weird.
I don't know if it could have been done in 25. Because of the way he writes. His writing style is good and his structure is good. It would, for some reason, I feel like 15% of this book disappeared.
Yeah.
Like, was just Thanos snapped away. And which was super disappointing because I enjoyed this book for the most part. I
Right.
just, where'd it go?
Yeah, it was just really weird. It was really weird. The Alfar storyline felt abrupt. Felt like like we didn't get a full picture. Excuse me, like we didn't get a full picture. His relationship with Sigrun was like brought back together and was abrupt, and it didn't feel like we didn't get like a resolution on that. Odd's story was just over. Like he beat his illness, but then embraced his illness to help his friends. But like we didn't understand what was happening. And then didn't Yara just stay at the wall? She just chose
She's
to die at the wall. Like that, I get it. I get why, but like
Hers was, I understood because she stayed at, like, her whole thing was she made a mistake leading people, and then now she found her place leading people again, and it was successful. And if these people couldn't be helped anyway, those guys were going to keep coming. Tainted, whatever.
so it's like
Alfar,
hold the line.
hold the line. Yeah,
It's just interesting. We got
but
the
odds was weird.
I
Odds was
think
odd.
I wonder if he tried to pursue I wonder if he tried to pursue too many different storylines and then it was like I'm suddenly out of time. I don't know.
But he did it in book one.
He did it in book 1 and we could have seen this book just needed to be longer. It wasn't a bad book, it just needed to be longer. The ending like blew up the whole book for me. Is
Yeah, I would
this the
agree.
only time we've given the story end to 0? We normally at least give it like a half point, right? Like I can't.
Mechanics.
That's true. Yeah.
But still, like, on, like, not indie books,
Yeah.
we've given,
I don't.
because usually the story end, we usually give it a point. Like, if it ended and it makes sense, usually gets a point.
Yeah.
This one just ended. I, like, finished. I'm like, where's the other pages? Like, I didn't realize that was the end. It said acknowledgments. I'm acknowledging where the fuck the other part of the book is.
Where's my where's my epilogue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the blessing and curse of our 10-point scale is that we often rate things high because we rarely give zeros. We normally give a half a point as long as it's like an effort was made to deliver on that like category. Like we will respect that you tried even if the execution was poor. And so that's like a baseline 5. So if we at least think that your book tried to hit all of our categories and then we give a few other categories like a full point, you're getting like an 8 out of 10. And so it's like only in situations where I think that something was like really fumbled do we give it a 0 in a category.
Yeah, because I feel like we do give it usually things the benefit of the doubt. Like, if it's there, and even if we don't like it, I mean, our scale is built basically to be rather objective rather than subjective. There's some subjective parts in it,
Right.
but for the most part, was there like good world building? That's not really subjective. Like, there's a little bit like I wanted more, I wanted less type thing. But for the
Structure.
most part, it's got to be a structure.
Yeah.
Pacing is one of those that is another one that's a little bit iffy, but for the most part, most people are
Yeah.
going to feel the same way when they're reading it.
Right.
So I'm sad.
I'm sad too. The
wanna be
ending
sad,
the ending
Dakota.
just blew it up for me. I was waiting for you to get there cuz the whole time I was patiently like I want Curtis to get to the ending so I can tell him that the ending made me mad.
Well, speaking of world building and setting was good for me. I gave this a half point. Setting was good for me. World building, so we had the same issue as we kind of did in the first one. There were some cool things happening. Odds like hunger that he had, where he like had to like feed on basically the dying soul of something to keep his body alive and regenerate. Super cool. Why? Never found out.
I
What
feel
is
like
it?
I
Never
feel like
found
you
out.
could do it in a page that connects it to the malice and he like has some like somewhere in his family line infected with the malice and it's like a lingering effect for his family line. Like there's so much you
could,
could
but
do.
it didn't even have to be that. His mom was coming to him in vision, and he was hallucinating his mom and stuff like that. Have her explain. That's it, right there. She explained a bunch of other trauma that she went through and stuff, and different family things.
It's so interesting. It's a world where like you question in the first book. I think you question is this world magical or not? Like is magic real or not? And then you get to the end, you're like, okay, there's this one big thing that's like supernatural. And then in this world, it's like, okay, they have this magic gateway to another realm. but what else is like, what is there magic or no? And you have odds abilities, and you're like, okay, but like, what's the background? Where's this stuff
And
coming
why
from?
is there a realm? Why are they there? Why don't they come forward? There was just a
If
whole
you're
bunch of
telling us in the end of the first book,
is this.
you can explain the basis for religion for this whole like group of people, then you can explain the basis for this like alternate world.
Yeah, I have a good point I want to bring up at the end, kind of related to that.
Okay, move on. Pacing and structure. Unless you had more to add about world building.
No, I mean, I just there was a bunch of cool stuff there, and it was missing the why and the
Yeah.
how. Pacing and structure, I felt good. I liked the pacing a lot more in this one. I liked the pacing a lot in the first one, but I think you liked it a bit more in this one because we got right to it. I liked the build up more in the first one, but I'm totally fine with the pacing in this one. And the structure was literally the same as the first book, which I mean, I enjoyed minus the ending
Yeah.
that exists.
Yeah, the pacing was good. It kept moving. I mean, it created stakes and then it fumbled those stakes, but it created stakes that I was like, no, like, is he gonna get home to his family? Is his wife gonna remember him? If because he's like, there's this time dilation, he's gone so long. So pacing was good.
Emotional impact?
I had a hard time with this one because I think that like it created a lot of emotional impact for me with the time dilation.
Yeah.
And then it
Hmm.
just totally like didn't execute on it. And I was like prepared for it to be like emotionally moving, or like his son is like still a teenager when he gets back, or like I was just ready for it to be anything, any sort of repercussions from him going on this journey and being gone for like it's like 5 or 6 years by the time he gets back. It's weird.
8.
8 years? That's
Hmm.
so long. It's like I was ready for that to be an emotionally impactful, and it just wasn't. They didn't do anything with it. The whole time I was actually like stressed about it. I was like, "Oh no, like what's
Yeah.
going to be the emotional impact and the like what are the stakes for him and his family, because right before this journey, he wants to reconnect with his family." That was it.
After they were gone for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then she's like, "It's been 2 years since he was gone." I'm like, "Oh my god, he's gonna come back and she's gonna be an old bag,
Yeah.
or they're gonna be dead, or something crazy." And it did not matter. It didn't matter. He came back and they're like, "That's my wife and my kid. I'm younger than you now," and then that's it. I was, just- I was like you said, I was stressed for them the whole time, and at the end, it's just like my adrenaline went nowhere. It was
Yeah.
just like, okay, so stress for nothing.
So I gave it a half point. I was I don't know. If they had I think that was all I needed. I think if they had executed on that time dilation better, I would have given it a whole point, but
I am still going to give it the whole point because it did invoke those emotions, and I felt like we got some emotions with Odd. And I even felt like with Willow, with her struggle, but like, listen, I'm gonna forget my way. Like, I need help. And then she was like rambling, and Kel's like, listen, like, I gotta help you here. It's kind of like if you have like an older grandparent or something that's forgetting, and you have to like
yeah,
kind of so like,
maybe
and I
I'm
kind of felt, I kind of felt like the even the futility of like the fight on the wall type thing was
yeah,
like that was pretty emotional.
that's
At least
true.
to me, just because it didn't like go where I wanted it to go, or I felt like it was unfinished, I still felt like the emotional impact was built up and it was there. He just didn't do a good enough job finishing.
I can respect that, and I think I'm unfairly docking the point on emotional impact because of my beef with other parts of the book. So I will cede there and say it did invoke emotions, and even my frustration is a sign that it invoked emotions.
Writing silent prose, it's the same as book one. I feel fine
Yeah,
about it. I feel
he's a
good.
good
I like
writer.
his writing
I
style.
like his
I would read
voice.
more from him. I would read more from him. Because I like the ending of book one. I didn't like the ending of this one, but it makes me hopeful that maybe this was just early on and he writes different things and maybe he's learned from it and maybe he didn't have as many boundaries with maybe an editor or something like that.
Aren't these his most recent books?
It could be. I don't know. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I am.
Oh.
I'm doing a little quick fact checking.
This had to have been an editorial problem. I really don't think he would have ended it like this based on his first book.
So the new one, okay, so the Mageborn one that I sent you and was like, we could check this out. That was older, and his Judas Blossom one that someone recommended is also older. But
Hmm.
he does have one newer book. Wait, it's not. It's everything I said. It doesn't matter because it's not sorted by year. I just assumed it was. So,
You are a dingus.
but these books came out in the last few years, so I don't. He's got a lot of books released, and The Warrior was 2022. So in the last few years, I wonder what else he
It could have
has
been
done.
something with COVID too, I wonder. He's probably writing it during code. They probably had different regulations or something during it, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, the other book that we got recommended by him is total tangent. Judas Blossom came out a year
That
later,
looks good.
2023. So
I would read that one.
yeah, but anyways, We gave the writing style and prose a point.
Meaningful themes and depth.
This one's
I had a hard time with this one too.
this one's tough, and I think it's tough in a different way than I falsely categorized emotional impact. I think this one's tough because we didn't see we didn't see things come full circle, and so that's like I think a big part of the themes is like how they're explored beginning to end, and we start with a reluctant hero who faces his outer and his inner demons to become the hero in the end. Like that whole theme is like if he never became the hero in the end, or if he abandoned the journey and never came back around, we wouldn't see the full picture of that theme.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going with a half point here because of the way we didn't see all those themes that we were very passionately talking about with emotional impact, like come full circle.
I think the reason I gave it a half point was I didn't feel like you said that if there were themes, there wasn't a full circle. I didn't. There was nothing that stood out, which there could have been some subtle things that I missed. Um, but I didn't think this book was heavy on themes. This more so felt like a story that was just being told, without really anything looking, too deep into it. But I did
Yeah.
feel like this one did have a lot more. Maybe not a lot more. This one also had moral dilemmas, like with Odd with his self-sacrifice, both staying behind twice essentially,
Yeah.
Yara staying behind, Kel leaving and continuing to go even though the time dilation, and he knew there'd be time dilation but not that bad, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Well, she told him it was
um
going to take a few months.
Oops.
Yeah. And then it was like, it's been 8 years.
Yeah. I mean you could like really dissect it and be like, there's a theme of either always keeping your promises, or because the promise Kel made to Will to always help. Like you always help a friend in need, especially if you promise, especially if it helps. But at some point, it might be best to break that promise. Like you just left the kingdom alone for 8 years, where you probably could have maybe prevented these problems and prevented a whole
Yeah.
slew of issues. And I don't know. If you wanted to dive deep, I'm sure we could
Yeah. I
explore
think
that.
that's where
But
it
I
gets the
think
half. I
it's,
think that's where it gets the half point, right? Because there
yeah,
were
because we're reaching.
yeah, you could reach for themes and there's some, but
What can you do?
what can you do?
What can you do? Pre-readability and lasting impact,
Nope.
which is sad.
Yeah. I liked, I I think I started out when we went into the review for the first book a little negative, but all in all, like I liked the first book.
Hmm.
It was an entertaining story. It was like this world that was crafted. We went into book two because we liked it. We wanted to get more of the world, right? More of everything.
Yeah. I I think I gave the a half a point in the first one. I don't remember if it was lasting impact, but I think I gave it rereadability. Um and that's because I was looking forward to getting back into the world. I
Yeah.
don't need more. Especially if we're gonna just write the same story but a different mission. Kind of over it. And lasting impact just wasn't there for me. This is one of those again that was on my shelf for so long, and I was so excited to read it finally. I mean, not so long, 2021, but still, I was like, I picked it up. I was like, I actually got it as a gift for Christmas from my cousin, and I was like, I'm gonna read this right away, and I didn't for whatever reason, and probably COVID.
I
And
didn't for whatever reason.
I was so like the first book, I was so happy with. I liked it all more than you. I think book one
Yeah.
was a good time. This one, after 70%, I'm like, I feel like this isn't going where I want it to or anywhere at all. And I think that's where it dropped me. Because, like we said, we liked the first half. Rip.
Rip. So what did
And so that
we
brings us to our collective score. I gave it a 5.5 total between it all.
interesting. It says I gave it am I doing bad math? It says I gave it a 6. Did I rate it higher than you in a category? No, I think we both gave it a
Did I count wrong?
maybe I counted wrong.
No, I counted wrong.
Did we both give
I'm
it a
a 6.
6? We gave it a 6, yeah.
Yeah, we gave it a 6. All right, so RSQ of 6. Why did it not? Oh, did it? Oh, I see why.
Same.
Yeah, RSQ of 6. I think that's accurate. I think like when you get down to writing basics and how a story should go, it was there, it had potential, and it just dropped the ball. And I
Yeah.
think that when we get into our RSQ recommended, I don't know about you. I don't know if you saw my note, but I would recommend reading book one. And I think it stops at a good point there to where if you didn't know there was a sequel, you would be happy.
I
And
agree.
I think for sure go read The Coward. And I don't think you need to read this one, fortunately. If you want to read more of the world, it was entertaining. I had a good time reading it, but you're gonna get kind of blue balled at the end. There's
Yeah.
just not an ending. There just isn't.
Nope.
And this is duology, so there's no more.
That's it. That's where we're
So you should
stopping.
sit with blue balls.
You just get to be frustrated.
So RSQ rating of 6. Not recommend this book. We recommend the first one. It be like that.
Yeah.
That's why I reread these for you, so you can not waste your time.
So we can say, hey, we didn't like it. And if you're like us, you probably won't like it either.
But we already did spin our wheel to figure out what we're going to read next. Dakota, do you have your book handy and what we're going to read next? Cloak's Kingdom.
Ba-ba-da-bum-bum.
Gregory Michael.
Yeah, this is a space YA heist. So we are very excited to get into it. Thanks, Greg, for sharing your story with us. And we will let everybody know how we feel about it. And if you should go pick it up. And this is also a duology, I believe.
The Void takes no prisoners.
The Void.
I think it is duology.
No
I think
prisoners.
what we decided with the indie books, because a lot of these indie books people have been writing for a while, so they have like, if we read it, they have like 8 books or something like that.
Yeah.
If it's a story that, because normally we try and read the whole series, but with these indie books, if we find it's a story maybe not for us or we're ready to move on, we might not read the full thing, the full series, even if we enjoyed book 1. But we also might read it anyway. But just a disclaimer.
Yeah.
With the indie books, that's how we're kind of rolling with things.
It's true.
But we'll get going on that soon. And a spoiler for upcoming videos that I'm doing.
Oh my gosh, did yours come today? Oh, it's a Dragon Steel package.
I got a Dragon Steel package.
I hate you so much. And your broken binding? What?
And broken binding?
My mail is slacking, but also I might still get mine today. I'm very... You should...
Also, I don't know if this is this might be one I just ordered.
Is that the...
Oh, no, it's not.
Is it our first monthly one or is it a different one?
I think it's our first monthly one.
Mine are going to be here very soon. I'm
This
finishing
might be
off...
sci-fi.
I'm finishing off this very soon. You see what I'm pointing to? My Sun Eater series. The other 2.
Sun Eater.
Boop,
I keep
boop.
wanting to say Malazan because that's what Kyle's reading.
The other 2 will be here very soon. And then we'll have my fantasy broken binding. But that's your
I think
sci-fi
that's because
one?
this is sci-fi. This is sci-fi, I think. Because it actually says the contents, because I think they have to, because it's a customs declaration on it. And it says what's in here. I think it's sci-fi.
Well,
check out the video, little teaser.
I'm excited too. I'll let you go so that I can be a part of that, because I wanted to say unbox it right now so I can see it, but I'll watch the video like a good fan of RSQ.
Like a good neighbor, RSQ is there with a book buying addiction. Yeah, so thanks for watching. It was fun. Thank you everyone for being here.
Thanks for joining us.
For continuing to watch our stuff.
Thanks for listening to us rant for a half hour about why books are good or bad.
And catch us in the next one, which will hopefully be shortly.
Yep. Till next time, RSQ out.
RSQ out.